What I was paying for.
Invest in these areas, not in these. In today's video, we're going to have a conversation with Hanish Nagrani. Hanish is the newest addition to Team Koukun. He joined about a year ago. If we go a little bit back, you actually were raised in the city of Welland. So you're like a local to this area. You know the streets by heart because this is where you grew up, right?
Yeah. This is where I grew up when we moved to Canada from Africa. I went to elementary school here, went to Notre Dame, played in a lot of the sports teams, and I just grew really accustomed to the whole Welland lifestyle. Well, after I graduated university, I actually went to Africa for a couple of years. I played professional golf for about two and a half years. That was an experience that was exhilarating, yet also frustrating. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, and just living in a country by yourself, there came with a lot of good times, but a lot of tough times for sure. So I decided it was best to come back, and I knew real estate was it's always been my calling, so that's why I'm here. And
well, tell us a bit about that. What made you choose real estate? Your family also has a little bit of history with real estate, so why don't you share a little bit about that thought process?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, when it comes to my perception of how to make a living, I've never viewed a 9 to 5 as something I wanted to do. Now, I have nothing against it because I do see the value in having a structured paycheck each month. But with that being said, I knew getting into real estate was going to allow me to reach my goals to developing wealth over a longer period of time. My family has a couple properties in Africa. We also have a couple properties in Ontario as well. So I've just always been ingrained with my family and the roots that creating wealth through real estate is something that we've done as a family, but I've also realized that a lot of the books we read, a lot of the information we gather from outside sources obviously says that real estate is a great investment to create long-term wealth with lots of advantages, and mixing it in with developing the communication skills that I really wanted to develop. I felt it was the perfect combination to not have a salary job, be able to create long-term wealth, and then also kind of fall in roots with what my family wanted.
Awesome. So since you joined the team, you worked with dozens of investors, especially being that you are from the Niagara region, it was an easy fit for you to be able to guide investors, hey, invest in these areas, not in these, right? But along the way, you also got your first rental property in the city of Fort Erie. Tell us about that experience and start to finish, how did that go?
So my first rental property that I acquired was a duplex in Fort Erie. Now I do have a pre-construction in the Toronto area.
That's right.
But more so, the first project that I took on was in Fort Erie. This was right when the market was super hot, and I lost out on a couple offers that were actually in Welland, which I preferred Welland as a city. But this property just stuck out to me, the sizing, the spacing, the 2-3 bedroom units, and the amount of work that I put into it was a great learning experience. I learned how to negotiate with tenants.
So you did a cash for keys with the tenants?
I did a cash for keys for my upper and lower tenants, which we drastically increased the rents to a market rent now, which is where they were paying a lot under market. So that significantly, I needed to do that to gain the cash flow to make the unit worth what I was paying for it. And then also going through the whole renovation process, I learned an immense amount that
you managed this project.
Correct.
You hired trades.
I hired trades. I did everything, and it sounds maybe from an outside perspective it can sound easy, but when you're in the nitty gritty, you notice the day-to-day struggles, the frustrations, things that just like, why am I doing this? Like, why are things going this way? But if you look at the long-term picture, and now that I've seen the project that I've completed, it just gives you so much fulfillment because, nothing great comes easy, right? So I think I'm very proud of that investment. I'm very proud of what I made it into, and I'm very happy with the cash flow it provides. So especially buying it in the peak of the market.
You're fairly young, we're the same age, right? So you got your first property, you have that pre-construction also. I think that one also has gone up quite a bit in value since you got it under contract. And to be able to have these properties now at a younger age and hold on to them, because your mindset also is to hold on to these for the long term. In 10, 20, 30 years, like you're going to be well ahead of the person who maybe just got their first home, maybe thinking about investing or saving something on the side to build a nest egg. These properties are going to hopefully by then.
No, for sure. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that I am pretty grounded into my bigger picture, into realizing that I'm using real estate as a tool to create wealth for the long term. Whereas if you're looking to maybe make a quick buck or quick flip, sure, in a good market you can make that happen. But if you don't see the bigger picture in mind through the downturns like we're talking about, you might really be stressed out. And I just find that having that bigger picture is definitely, I'm going to endure the ups and downs, and eventually, I will hopefully get to a point in which I'm ahead of a lot of other people, but that's not the way to, I mean, I'm just looking at it as a personal thing, right?
Sure.
The number one thing that I stress is buying quality properties, or just making quality decisions to help you in the long term. Because I find if you are always chasing specific numbers or specific properties, or you might end up making bad decisions, buying a bad investment just because the cash flow was good, or you needed a specific number to be in a certain range. That's what I have seen with some investors, that they've been so stricken on the specific, the cash flow or certain cap rate, that they end up buying a low quality property in a low quality neighborhood, and then when it comes to times to sell, they're struggling with it, or when it comes time to dealing with the tenants, they might have some headaches. So these are the things that are not easy to factor in, but they're decisions that you want to think about.